Greetings, beloved brothers and sisters. Your true nature is one of kindness, forbearance, acceptance, and love. In your interactions with people, if no other conversation gets in the way, you will always come from that place. You can trust this. It is your heart. However, on the earth plane, the issue is for many people survival. How am I going to survive since I'm dependent on my tribe, the people around me, since I was a baby? I need these people. And because of that, there's a confusion that arises where your natural tendency to give or to accept becomes mixed with a fear of losing the approval of others. Consequently, you could find yourself doing things that on the surface may seem like you're being nice, but underneath, it's really not okay. You have to suppress yourself, how you really feel, for fear of losing your affiliation with the group that seems to protect you from death and from being alone, which is where the fear is. All of this, of course, is false. You're never alone, and you don't need that protection. And you certainly can come from love. But when the two get mixed together, what you find is that this feeling comes over you of, I'm going along to get along. I am holding my tongue. I am saying things are okay when they're really not okay with me, but I don't quite have the courage to speak up for fear of loss of relationship. There's an old expression that says, people will always abuse you to the extent that you let them. This is not because people are innately malicious or selfish or mean. It's because they don't know you. They don't know your boundaries. They don't know what's okay and what's not okay, because the message you're sending is that whatever they're doing is okay, except you know it isn't. And this is why you can be going along and the other person thinks you're fine and you think you're fine, and then something will happen and there will be an explosion, an outburst of emotion and possibly attack, anger, this seething resentment that you didn't even realize was under there. And it's partly because you had given away your sovereignty, you had given away your truth in the name of getting along and not wanting to be rejected or thought ill of by people around you. Many, many years ago in the 1930s, there was a psychologist named Wilhelm Reich. And what he noticed was that all of life seems to go through this cycle where there's a starting off of a period of calm, and then over time, tension builds up. Maybe nobody feels it at first, but the tension is building up and it builds up and it builds up to a peak when it cannot be contained any longer. And then there's this kind of release, big release. And then after the release, a kind of calm. And then it starts again. He called his theory the orgone theory. And it was partly based on human orgasm, which goes through that same cycle, but he saw it everywhere in nature, like a thunderstorm. It's just a calm that eventually builds to a tension and finally releases in a cloudburst. after which there's calm again. There's much wisdom in what he saw. This orgone theory applies to many different things. It applies to relationships, but it also applies to your relationship, for instance, to your body. Perhaps you're calm and you're going along and you're not paying attention, and your body is serving you and supporting you, except you're not paying attention, and the body is not overtly demanding your attention. And so it's possible to ignore hurts and pains and feelings and all kinds of things and go along as if everything's fine, not realizing that attention is building up. And finally, there's an outburst. There's disease. There's intense pain. And then something has to be addressed that would give you calm again. So this cycle repeats and repeats, and you can not only find it between your body not speaking up or you not listening, but you can also find it in the earth. The earth, out of goodness and light and forbearance and kindness, allows the tension to build up. Things that are done that the earth seems to absorb without complaint. But now the tension is building, and the earth can no longer put up with what we might call abuse. And there will be a release of energy so that a calm can be established. So it happens on many levels. And it's just life. The answer is, number one, pay attention. Pay attention to the effect that your words and your actions have on others. They may not tell you, but you can tune into that. And pay attention to yourself so that you're not acquiescing to things that aren't okay with you. Because sooner or later, there will be a reckoning. There will be a tension. And there will be a release of energy. You can allow for that so that it's not catastrophic by learning how to express your needs and your truth in a way that doesn't necessarily end relationship, but allows you to have your own inner calm, no longer having to hold back your truth. Give yourself permission to notice the places where you're going along to get along. And ask for the courage to express yourself, not in a way that attacks others, but in a way that allows you to be at peace with yourself, at alignment with who you really are. And you'll be able to take the tension and the release, and the tension and the release that's natural throughout life, so that it's captured and used for creative purposes and not just destruction. Let yourself feel what you feel, express your truth, release it, and release everyone from having to be different than the way they are. And more, these little episodes will feel very short-lived, and most of the time you'll experience peace. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.